All right.
Good evening, Lunenburg. My name is Brett Ramsden, Chairman of the Sewer Commission, and we're going to start our meeting as we usually do with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, which I'm holding in my hand now. Are we recording, folks?
It's recording, yes.
Okay. Great. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
States of
and to the
America,
republic
for which stands one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty
indivisible,
and
liberty,
justice for
and
all.
justice for all.
Thank you all. Beautiful. In accordance with open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar ID number 831-8724-9940. If you have not registered with Zoom, you may be asked for your name and email address. No participant ID is needed. Just press pound when asked. I will do a roll call confirmation of all members and followed up by a roll call of the staff. And we'll start with Scott Dahl.
Here,
And Dan Proctor is not here. Arthur Cadis.
Here.
And I myself, Brett Ramsden, is here. And staff, I'll start with Bill Bernard,
I'm here.
Andrew Bellier,
Here.
and Jane Ranley.
Here.
Thank you all. The meeting is in progress. We'd like to start with any public comment, if there is any, or from the staff and commissioners. All right.
none for
I'm
me.
excited to have a quorum and being able to move forward here, folks.
Yep.
We're gonna jump right into the business meeting. And current business, we're gonna start by voting on the minutes from 8/26/25.
I wasn't present for those.
I'm sorry?
I wasn't present for those.
And, yeah, so I'm looking for someone to, can you,
Even though you weren't there, you can still vote.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I looked at the notes.
Okay.
I saw things.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the notes.
I second that.
no problem. And just a reminder, and also to Lunenburg, I'm very hard of hearing, so if
So
you're
me too.
looking right at me and you
Yeah.
talk clearly, I'll hear you.
Good.
Otherwise, the in-person meetings are a challenge for me.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna catch everything you say.
All right.
So,
Directed right at you, kid.
yes, you are. Thank you. So I'm looking for a motion to accept the minutes from 8/26/25.
I make a
Second that.
motion to accept the minutes.
And if that motion could be seconded.
Second that motion.
All right, we have a motion that's been seconded. And we're gonna vote. Gonna start with Scott Dahl,
Aye,
Arthur Cadis,
Aye.
and I for myself. Very good. We're gonna jump into our business manager updates. And it looks like we're jumping right into the ADUs.
Yeah.
discussion.
That's all I hear now in
This
commercials.
won't go
On the
away.
radio, that's all you hear. That's all you
It is
hear.
exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I think we're gonna have our teeth sunk into this for a while,
Yeah,
so, and that's okay.
yeah,
Do we wanna get it right the first time?
exactly.
Does anybody have anything they'd like to start with regarding that, or let's ask the director if he has anything to start with.
So, Dan stopped by this afternoon and he came up with, some ideas, which you should have a copy in front of you.
These ideas,
Yep,
these aren't
this is the
solid,
answer.
these are just ideas.
Yep, these are ideas. And the other sheet is the ideas that, Andrew put together.
Nice.
Oh, right.
So we probably should, read them over
Yeah.
and, discuss them a little bit.
Yeah,
This is great.
big step forward.
Yeah, cause the goal is to try to write a, regulation for
In the, yeah,
ADUs.
that.
Cause our regulations now are silent on ADUs,
Yeah.
because they're new,
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, of course,
so.
Yeah.
We can kind of work around it at the moment,
logically,
yeah,
yeah,
right, just kind of follow our rules as they are.
Yeah.
But we want something a little
more solid.
more solid.
Of course, so people know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't change from one person to the next.
Right, yeah.
exactly, right, cause you can interpret things slightly different,
Of
so
course.
we wanna nail it down.
It's a good idea.
I have a quick question, Andrew. I thought the minimum residential connection was higher than 20.
That's actually, that's the minimum, but it's usually more than that. But that's just what our updated policy says in the appendix G. So in appendix G, that's basically where I think this verbiage that we want to put into, place would go in this appendix. Right, Bill? If I'm correct?
So update that
Probably in
appendix,
that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so this
Yeah.
is the section, the highlighted.
Yeah,
And this is the
Yeah.
appendix,
Yeah.
actually,
Highlights.
so the
It's in
emptiness,
black and
the empty here is just for us to add
It's in
in.
black and
Yeah,
white, so I
yeah.
Right,
apologize.
so this is
Yeah.
No, that's
existing
quite
in
all
the,
right.
in the appendix, this is proposed.
This is proposed,
Yeah.
okay, so. Well, it says already that they would charge $550 after 3. Right? But before that, we wanna
Hmm.
charge more, you're saying?
So Dan's idea, like on the fees, so the dwelling, that's already in everything that's
Yeah,
on here, that's already
yeah.
in
Right.
place, and regs in place.
Except for the-
The one that's
Right.
highlighted is kind of something, what I
Right.
came up with just to
Absolutely.
extend some of that. That obviously that wording can be
Yeah,
changed
should be-
around, to anyone's liking. Or maybe incorporated with, Dan's wording,
Mhm.
into there, so.
The thing I don't see here is square footage.
Yep, so I don't have that.
So we don't need to adjust
Yeah.
that, because that's in the state.
It is
laws.
in the state,
Well,
yeah,
that's already addressed the state law,
Yeah.
so it's 900 square feet,
Yeah,
minimum of 2250 according to what we have right now.
that is, the minimum,
that's for a regular.
Regular.
Regular commercial, regular house, but an ADU is gonna be more, cause it's
No,
less.
yeah.
well, that's what
So
we're talking
yeah, I
about,
left that, I left that.
Okay, so I just wanna make sure I'm
yeah, so,
not going around
so Dan suggested a
Yeah.
$500 fee to
additional.
tie in
Yep.
and, I can't read it, $330 fee for the bed.
Bedroom increase, yeah,
And distance doesn't matter from the
Nope.
sewer?
Nope,
no,
Distance doesn't matter.
no, it's flow that
Good
matters.
Yeah.
review all of
Yeah.
it.
Flow and-
Volume.
Yes, right, volume,
Volume.
water being flushed
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
So that's based on the state plumbing code.
Yep. Okay.
Did we,
Okay.
I know I was deferring to Dan's expertise when we were writing this up, but we decided that we were gonna go straight all the connections through, right? Through the existing structure, not any, that have to be an exception made
Separate lines.
to get an easement or,
yeah, it would have to tie into the existing property, line of the
So-
property, yeah.
Yeah, so Scott, you don't
Yeah.
have it in front of you, but let me read it. This is Dan's idea.
Yep.
yeah,
ADU unit sewer line must tie into the existing sewer line on the property. So no new connections from the street. And then he has methods of connection, and it's site specific. So they can do it through interior plumbing. So if your ADU is, just an attachment to your house, you can plumb
Yeah.
it inside your house.
Mhm.
Yep.
But if, say you have a garage, external garage,
Yeah.
a detached garage, you're making into an ADU. He's saying connect by using a TY connection underground
yeah.
into the existing line going out. Which makes sense to me,
on the customer's property or on,
on the
or are we
customer's.
teeing, okay, so we're just teeing up on the customer's property. It's
Right.
not a tee off of the public line.
Is that gonna,
Correct,
is that gonna take pipe cutting? Or is it, yeah, it's gonna take pipe
Yeah.
cutting.
right, so
So
they
they have
gotta
to put a-
excavate down,
Yeah,
and they have to put that Y in, and we wanna clean out at that Y, cause that's a
Yeah.
potential
Yeah.
clog point.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, while we do those cleanouts and do those things as far as each ADU goes, is there anything else that we could do for maintenance or preventive while we're there already? That could make it cost effective? Like, is it something that, like, how they're gonna put the T in?
Yeah,
Is there anything else that while it's open, that we can already, you know, that needs replacing that we know of, or, so when we get to those
Well,
places,
this,
already digging in.
this,
maybe-
this is all private.
Right,
Right.
so the sewer commission,
Okay.
we won't be doing any of the work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But if,
this is
you
all
know,
on their own property.
Right,
so the person doing the work is, we call them a drain layer, they have to be licensed by us.
mhm.
So if the drain layer digs it up and he sees that the pipe's in bad shape,
Mm.
then hopefully he recommends to the
Recommends
homeowner,
something,
hey, we
yeah.
gotta replace some of the
Right,
pipe,
yeah,
right?
right,
The contractor,
I have to go out and inspect it,
okay,
and if I see that, you know, the pipe's all cracked and
Right.
whatnot,
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
yeah, it's not gonna be approved
Yeah,
of.
that's gotta be replaced.
Yep.
Cause crack's gonna let water in,
right.
yeah,
And
infiltration,
is that
and
a
that's
town,
bad,
is that a town expense or is that an individual expense?
that would be on them, it's
That'd
on
be
their
on the,
property,
homeowner.
yep.
we're only responsible for
The connection
the
to the
connection from
street,
the, in the street.
in the street,
Right.
yeah,
And we're not responsible until the connection that's actually on the main, right? We're not responsible for the tie-in from the connection on the main in.
Well, within the town right away is ours, so the lateral coming off the main goes right up to the property line. That's ours, but from there to the house, it's the homeowner.
Excellent.
What I wanted to ask, and this was, you know, I'm hoping that Dan will, hear this comment, or we can email about it later or whatever, but, what if somebody it's new construction, and at the same time, they're proposing an ADU to be built at the same time, and I'm not talking about an in-law, I'm talking about the 900 square foot separate detached unit. How would our fee structure work? Is that gonna just go as one extra bedroom, or is that gonna go as the secondary ADU fee? Or is that all gonna be one fee, because it's all new construction?
I think the way we're proposing it now, it'd be two separate
Right,
fees, right? A
yeah.
regular connection fee for the house.
Yeah.
And then this new connection fee for the
Right.
ADU.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way
Yeah.
to go,
like
Stay
leave our,
consistent,
Even
Yeah.
even if it's.
even if it's brand new.
Doesn't matter.
Entirely new connection.
because it's still the same volume,
Yeah.
we're just measuring volume, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what's new.
yeah, leaving
Yeah.
our existing,
It's
That's
the only
how,
fair way to do it.
that's how we meter it.
Yeah, and that's how,
Mhm.
you know, if you connect your house now and build an ADU 10
Mhm.
years from now, that's how we're gonna get built, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
to me, it's
Yeah, so I
consistent.
just wanted to be consistent, that's all.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
yeah.
perfect,
Mhm.
okay.
Very good. And yeah, this is a great start, Andrew. It looks, get it all tied together nice.
Thank you.
So Andrew touched on, so Scott saying, you don't know this, but Andrew touched on water meters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's up to the homeowner if they wanna put a separate water meter to the ADU.
Mhm.
You know, I think
Yeah.
I said it the last time, if you're building an in-law apartment, you're probably gonna tie it into your house, you're probably gonna use one meter. But if you're gonna rent out the ADU, you're probably gonna want separate meter.
Right,
We can't require a second meter. But we thought maybe put it in the reg that, you know, you can go either way, so people kind of understand, maybe they'll question, why do you have that in there, right? And then we can explain why.
Okay,
well, even then, when we were discussing that, and initially we thought it was only gonna be 1 meter, no matter what, and we are billing based off water usage, you know, for the sewer, what are we gonna do? Whose name will be on the bill? Will it be the tenant if there's a separate water meter in that we are now charging sewer on, or will that still be the owner of the property?
it's a separate, meter, for an EDU, I'd like to think it'd be the tenant's name, cause that's how we
Yeah.
do things now for apartments in general, I mean.
unless somebody's trying to finagle a bagel and trying
So-
to, you know,
Yeah, I mean, it could be, you know, let's say like, but it would have to be incorporated as like, you know, 38A or B, but you know, it's gonna go to the same address, but. Basically, it would be 2 meters tied to one address at the same time, but both names would technically have to be on the bill. Just for billing purposes.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if that gives us an out, you know, with the unpaid percentage that we had, if that puts, if there's wording that can be put in to put the onus on the owner of the property, if the tenant doesn't pay.
Right, I mean, I think that it would go on the main property, I mean, if they're not paying the bill.
Just like having a double decker and the
Yeah,
guy didn't pay the
it's,
bill.
yeah, it's the same thing.
Well, I think, Andrew, the way you wrote it, I think the bill goes to the owner of the property.
Right, it's gonna go to the owner, technically, but the tenant's name could be on it too, on the same bill.
Yeah.
Because generally, like I said, if they have 2 meters. There's properties that we have 2 meters for, same properties, so it would kind of work like that. Just so they're getting a different number, there's 2 different readings, if that makes any
I mean,
sense.
as long as we get both numbers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, if there's obviously the water department would have to, give me that number, which they do with other properties that have 2 meters.
And then we'd have
Side
to
of
find out, do they consolidate them? No, they can't consolidate, they wouldn't consolidate them. but-
No, they're not together, they're just kind of, I get numbers based off of one meter and numbers based off.
And
the other
again, they're
meter, and they
recording
get-
them, so they can just.
They're recorded, yep, so that's how I generally get the numbers from the water department, so. And like I said, that's just based off of, if there are 2 meters or not, on the property, so. If it's just 1 meter, that's great, I mean, it's just gonna go to the homeowner, so.
There it is.
Hello.
It depends, I guess, so.
Hey, welcome back.
Sorry.
Oh, I know.
Alright,
So Dan, we were just talking about your thoughts on the ADUs and then,
Yep.
in front of you is Andrew's thoughts. That one there in the highlighted section.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're just kind of kicking it around at the moment.
I wonder if these ADUs.
So
are
we've
gonna
already
be 10 years
had
from now.
Andrew and Dan drawing up, sorry.
Say it again, Scott?
If we already have Andrew, where we discussed the last couple meetings about drawing up the proposed letter. And we already, I'm sorry, policy, and we already have Dan's and Andrew's input. Now we're at the point of maybe refining and tweaking wording or possible scenarios. How long would it be before you had to go in front of town council with the final proposal to implement the fees?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we, everybody seems to be kind of in agreement with
Yeah.
everything so far.
Yeah.
We could kind
Yeah.
of tie it all together
Right.
into one document.
Yeah.
And then we could discuss it at the next meeting and then
Absolutely.
bring it to the town council after
Right.
that if we think we're ready.
Right, and have him tweak it with the
Yeah.
right verbiage and what
Yeah.
have you
Yeah.
type of thing.
Close.
Yeah,
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 Excellent.
because I mean, I'm sure we're, even without seeing the paper, just from hearing it, I'm sure between the two of them, we're right on point, and of course with you, Bill.
thanks, you give me too much credit.
No, I look.
no, I mean, it's simple,
Yeah,
but it's
it's-
just, I mean, I think the biggest thing we talked about was whether we are gonna be able to go in the street with a separate one, which I
Right.
don't really think that's the route we wanna go.
No.
Yeah,
The fees are, whatever we decide, I mean, and I'm open to that, I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
What I don't always understand with the sewer, just because there was so many different phases,
Yeah.
like you have tie-in fees and then you have, correct, help me out on
The
this.
permit fee?
Yeah, and the reverse,
Yeah.
reserve capacity fee
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that type of stuff. So that money gets allocated to different funds,
It
correct?
does, correct, that is correct, yeah.
Okay, so I guess I don't know how that would affect the ADU
Right,
money coming in other words, would some of it go to that reserves? I mean, reserve fund, or would it all just?
Yeah.
go
Well, there's a
to the-
pipeline,
Right.
once it comes in, the pipeline hits and everybody gets their pieces,
Right,
cause everything has an impact and they wanna have finance towards that impact, I guess.
I think that, I mean,
yeah.
like a lot of that was how
right,
the money
like,
was.
it wouldn't go to sewer permit fees, I don't think, I think it would go to, cause we're adding a connection, I think it
Yeah.
would fall in line with the flow capacity revenue.
Maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it might.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these are,
Yeah.
Right, and I mean, I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
for town council, how it has to go.
How, like, where,
The
where,
disbursement of the
Disbursement,
funds.
yeah.
right,
Cause money was borrowed different
Right.
ways, right? That's what, how that,
Yeah,
was set up, I guess.
It was, yeah,
Do easements affect this at all?
um,
Like as far as connections and what if they run an easement, they run piping through an easement and it's just make it seem like I don't. Are people gonna get crafty and, you know, shifty with easements and tie-ins? Is it gonna be a problem? I'm just, you guys know more than me,
It really
I'm
should
bringing
be
it
a
up, so I
problem.
don't
I
know.
don't,
It's a good question.
It is,
So
yeah.
our regs say no easement.
yeah,
But there is an exception.
Yeah,
Right, there's a waiver
Yeah.
that can be applied for.
Yeah.
There's 3 steps you gotta get over. The first step is emergency,
mhm.
right? It has to be an
yeah.
emergency situation.
yeah,
The other 2 steps, what is it? Is it in the best interest of the town?
right, but ADUs do not make it an emergency, right? Cause ADUs seem to be an emergency situation.
Yeah,
Right,
You know?
but
right,
they have a right to have an ADU.
Right,
right. So they can plead their case for an easement,
mhm.
but it's gotta meet our criteria, and
Right.
then it'll be up to the commission,
Okay.
to meet those
Oh,
3
I'm good with that.
criteria.
Right, and I mean, I think that coincides with that first bullet item that I had, that it must
Yeah.
be the
Mass general.
definition of
Mass general law.
the way
Right.
the attorney
Right.
But
explained it
each
to us.
town is able to conduct their own easement kind of rules.
We
So,
can,
yeah.
but again, the whole ADU unit is not a separate house, it's an auxiliary
Mhm.
dwelling
Right.
unit to an existing house.
Right.
So there really shouldn't be easements in play, you know,
Okay.
cause that house should already be
Mhm.
a house lot,
Mhm.
I guess, right?
Yeah,
And-
new constructions aren't gonna,
So it would
the
be new,
townhouses that they're building, you know.
Well, townhouse is not a,
that's not an
Yeah.
ADU.
Yeah.
No, I know, but okay, if they wouldn't, okay, you're right. But,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, the townhouses, that would be a different, you know,
Yeah.
category altogether type of
Right.
thing. That's where easements could come into play. But an ADU unit is a piece of land that already has a house on it and they were
Perfect.
just gonna build a small 900 square foot next to it. Yeah. Okay,
I'm curious to see how many we'll have in the next year or two.
yeah, there's one right now. It's an
There's one right
permitting
now?
process, so.
if jobs are available and the youth get some jobs, maybe they won't build them, you know, who knows?
Sure
You
enough,
know?
but-
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's one of the, you know, main premises behind it.
yeah, I mean, that one you're talking about, I'm pretty sure she's renting it to her sister-in-law or something, and so it's gonna be a revenue stream for her and a place for her sister-in-law to live, and, you know, there's that whole concept, so.
Yeah, we're close enough to Fitchburg State, like you said, a student might wanna
Oh, absolutely.
grab an
Right.
ADU in town.
Right, no, exactly, 900 square feet.
Yeah,
That's a good sized building, honestly.
Yeah, I know it.
30 by 30
Bigger than my
or
house.
24, I know, absolutely, you know, it's nothing, so. Yep,
So what do we wanna do for next step here specifically?
What concerns do we have?
Hmm?
What are the concerns?
Well, I mean, we wanna consolidate the
fee.
overall wordage.
Right, but
Mhm.
individually, what's a
Correct.
concern? So we
We need
have,
to nail down a definite price, you know,
Right.
we definitely wanna keep
Mhm.
it
yeah,
a single fee for and only for ADUs.
yeah,
And then the question there is, do we have a discrepancy on the off chance? Because not everybody fits in the same box,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
If there just happens to be some strange situation where they've got no choice but to go directly to the line
yeah,
and it's not hurting anything or somehow it's agreed upon. What kind of a charge would that be, should that scenario somehow come about? Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah, they exist, not through the
It's
existing.
not like shutting the door in people's faces when we don't know they're coming,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't know what's down the pike.
Yeah,
If we've
So-
run into this before,
Yeah, so some kind
Where
of waiver from.
people are like, yeah, but what about this situation? And it's like, well, that was never thought about. Well,
Mhm.
you're not gonna think of everything
Yeah.
right now about what's
Mhm.
coming.
yeah, no, absolutely, it certainly could happen, and a lot of it would be more like elevation wise, so in other words, if this is the existing house.
Mm.
And, you know, their line goes down to the street, well, if the auxiliary dwelling unit is over here and gravity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Struggles to
Yeah.
get to that one because that one's down the gradient, I mean, they can always pump,
Yeah,
you know, and you could force them to pump.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, a pump would allow an auxiliary dwelling unit to be anywhere on the property, basically,
Mhm.
but,
Perfect scenario.
and now you're relying on a pump instead of gravity feed.
Right, which again is not
Pumps are
terrible. Pumps are,
Common.
Yeah.
pumps are very common.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and they have
I've
self-contained
repaired those.
units now that are super efficient and
Yeah,
what have you, so.
Excellent.
yeah.
You know, so I mean, that could always still happen. It could pump up to that existing line, so.
Yeah.
I really think the chances of someone happening to go into the street for an ADU unit,
Probably
Right, and-
small.
pretty small,
Yeah,
and we
for
could
all-
force,
And for all we know, there's a big, huge piece of village
right,
Right.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
right.
And it's like, well.
Right.
It's gonna cost us 30 grand
Mhm.
to get
black
that
that.
pipe
Right.
with a pump, up to, you know, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
we don't know what they're up
Mm.
against.
right,
Yeah.
I just wanna keep that,
open,
our
Right.
options
Yeah,
open for the public.
Maybe we just
Yeah, I mean,
put
that's why I'm
asterisk
here,
with
we're
that
looking
and
for that.
say these exact words.
Say
We
again?
use those exact words and we say, if this scenario comes up,
right,
blah, blah, blah.
right,
Right,
which
but we
would
can't
probably
think of
be a
every
question for
scenario.
town council.
Yeah.
Right.
The how to word that, that
Wording
gives
it,
us
yeah,
an out,
yeah.
yeah,
that if we do have to grant a
Right.
waiver,
Yeah,
Right.
yep.
that
At
this
least
is
we
the
address it.
wordage we would
Yeah.
have.
At least we
right?
address it here and maybe they don't address it there and we thought of it and they can have it.
Right,
right.
Yeah.
So we can use pretty much the same waiver language we have now.
right,
Yeah.
My opinion, though, we should soften that emergency
yeah,
Mhm.
somehow.
right, no, absolutely,
Yeah. Mhm.
absolutely, because of emergency, where do you really,
Yeah. 'cause
what do you
that
call an emergency?
Really cut
Your
out
idea of an
most
emergency and
scenarios.
his, two different things, you know,
And-
whatever,
Yeah.
you know, type of thing.
And what I was leading to with all that is, yes, we wanna have a single fee, but should the scenario somehow appear down the line, should there be a direct connection? We don't wanna, like you said, we gotta
Mhm.
talk to council about it.
Yeah.
But we should have at least a fee in mind,
Yeah.
whether it's on the document or not. As to what it would be for a new direct connection,
The same as a house.
you know, it would be
I mean, it's kinda,
same as a house, you think?
it's obvious.
Yeah.
Because I live in 1,138
Maybe that's
square
not bad.
feet. That's a house to me,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
Yeah, and
900
I
square
thought
feet.
we had I thought we had discussed it last meeting that any new tie-in would be a new fee.
Yeah.
Not just an
It's-
ADU fee, it would be the full new unit tie-in.
Well, if they're going directly, but I think the language here.
Yeah,
says it's
and then
different.
they still have to show their 3 points of qualification for it too, for us, and it wasn't even so much avoiding the new connection, it's more of trying to have to avoid the easement situation.
I
Yeah.
get all that.
Yeah, and again, I think the, excuse me, I think the easement issue really shouldn't be happening on this type of application.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
just because again, I
Well,
use that,
easement's a
such a
total
thing
different-
has to be on the property,
Yeah,
which is what that definition of mass
Yeah,
general
it
law.
has to be on the property, can't be on a shared lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
Easements are a different subject altogether.
Right.
Essentially.
yeah, so no easement, no exception, right?
Right.
right, exactly,
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
And I think Arthur's got a good thought there, because if the scenario should happen, and it's just, I'm thinking he's got good food for thought, because if you're going direct to the main line, you're going through all, you know, it's going through all the major steps it would be to add a house. From DPW's perspective, from the commission's perspective, from the line itself's perspective, I mean, town's perspective. So that might be
Yeah.
something, you know, even if it's just the minimum
Yeah.
every time of.
Mhm.
I could sell it as a separate unit, as a wheelchair, I think. If it's got its own address, RP, and it's got its own water connection, its meter. As a realtor, I walk in and I'm like, I'm gonna sell this
It's
house.
already in ready, right
Yeah,
there.
it's in house, it's a house.
oh, here's another scenario.
Oh.
Uh-oh,
What if the house is in the sewer service area, but has its own septic system?
Thought of it, but I didn't wanna bring it up, I was
And
like,
they wanna connect
I don't
it
know
to the
enough.
sewer.
yeah, I know, I thought of it, I was like, I don't know enough of that.
but
Yeah,
that kind of falls under some of the other regulations.
Cause they can't
doesn't it?
pipe in from the home, cause they go septic,
yeah,
so they have to go separate, so there's, yeah, it's.
right, cause some of these people wanna do an ADU and their septic can't handle that
Can't
extra
handle it.
bedroom, they can't
Yeah.
do it.
Right, oh, they'd have to get a new higher volume septic system.
Right.
Or a separate septic for the ADU.
Mhm.
But they might wanna just connect. for
Right,
ADU.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're
I
out of the
guess that would
service
be a
area,
full
they're out of the
connection
service
to
area.
it.
Well, it's.
Right, I
Yeah.
think that's what Scott is kind of saying, that, you know, he's thinking we should
Well,
always just have
I
a.
feel as though if they're gonna, there's no, you can't, you'd have to hook up your main
Yeah,
home
yeah.
and the ADU to the
Yeah.
door, like,
I think-
that's it. Yeah.
We all wanna keep our
Yeah,
property
no,
value,
no.
we have to,
Yeah,
you know,
That's probably
if
better.
we're all of us to
Right.
keep our property value
Yeah.
good. I mean, you have to look at the market a little bit and say, what is the possibility of selling houses that, like that,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? The septic connection with the this and that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
feel
that,
like just
we did bring that up a couple weeks ago, when we were talking
More
about that,
building houses like
you know,
that,
cost
what I mean?
conducive,
Yeah.
they would probably, if they did have to tie in with the ADU, they were just gonna tie the whole house in, because it really
Mhm.
wasn't gonna cost them much more, probably would have cost them less money in materials and labor than it would be to file for the separate permit.
What other towns doing?
Hmm.
No,
Have they
it's-
solved these?
It's so new.
it is,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the conversations we had with a few other
Yeah,
towns,
there's still-
just like
yeah.
us.
Oh, okay.
We're all in the round table
Right.
discussion
Yeah.
stage, type of thing, scratching your head, you know. type
Mhm.
of-
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and but Bill's right, there's so many different scenarios that could always pop
Yeah.
up, so. I guess the key is again, to have town council write it up, that
Right.
we always have an out.
Yeah.
Or we always have an avenue that we can
Right,
go,
we
that
can go
this is
through,
why
yeah.
we didn't want
Yes.
it, or this is why
Yeah.
we did want it,
Right.
you know.
So maybe we finite this a little bit further. We keep thinking about it. It's not gonna all be worked out tonight for sure.
Mhm.
And I think we should all take a copy of this home, so to potentially have some of the options that we were talking about. And then, you know, our next meeting, maybe finite it a little bit further.
Yeah.
And, maybe you could potentially
Fine tune it a little bit.
fine tune it
Yeah.
a little.
Sure.
And then within the next couple of meetings, we should have something pretty close that we could
Close enough.
have council look at.
Right.
Yeah, I do agree with, if people have to go this route and tie into the street,
Mm.
that should really be a whole separate tie-in fee.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whereas the ADU, if someone has an ADU up here and they run it into their
Mhm.
house,
And.
I mean, that could be a little bit more of a flat fee of, you know,
Yeah.
500 or 1,000 or
Yeah.
whatever type of thing, where this would be
And
the
and it
full.
falls right under, it's already in writing right there, you know?
Mhm.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Excellent. Do we want to cover anything else on this before we move forward tonight or? Think about. Scott, what are your thoughts, lad?
I mean, I'm thinking that as long as we get you know, all our Ts crossed and Is dotted before we go before council, then we can simply adjust to whatever suggestions council has, and then we can probably immediately vote it in without having to go back again, and delaying it further. And I know it's, you know, I know we're way ahead of this than most people are, so we might as well set the precedent.
Are we running into any troubles yet with people trying to build an ADU, and have we run into any troubles yet?
There's one being permitted right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's that
so
going?
I haven't touched the permit yet.
Yeah,
Like I said, we can work with it with our existing regulations.
Yeah.
Right, figure out a fee and all that, but this is gonna be much better and easier.
Good.
right?
Good.
Right.
'Cause
It's
now we're just
it's-
kind of
it's
trying to
making
work
his
it
life
into
easier,
our-
because he's kind of like,
Okay.
yeah, you know, you
Yeah,
don't
look
really
at
know.
this, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we discussed, once you see one going up,
Yeah.
it's gonna snowball quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I agree.
Excellent. Gonna miss this one when we're done with it.
Well, it's got impact, right?
Yeah.
It does, so.
All right, thank you, everyone, and, is there anything to even discuss regarding the manhole repair IFB?
Same report as last time, they're still waiting for the manholes to come in,
Hurry up and wait.
the manhole covers frame and grade,
Yeah.
right, frame and
Yeah.
covers.
All right, and then we have a bill credit for 45 Riley Road.
So that one's a little unique. The resident called me directly. And of course, we're only as good as the numbers that the water department is providing to me, but, I guess in this aspect, no one kind of relayed the message that they upped her number, cause they're changing, they wanted to change her water meter, so they adjusted her bill, and I did confirm that with the water department. So I said, you know, because our current bill is 283.24, and generally it hovers around the 174 mark. So what the water department did, lowered her usage to 1,000. Her usage from the water department I had was 1787. So I said maybe the thinking, I'll bring it up to the commissioners to see if we can credit your, you know, for next quarter, next bill, give her an $83.24.
Does that require a vote?
It would, yes, from you, from the commissioners, just so I can adjust that for, you know, our next bill. Cause like I said, normally when I look, it is, her bills are around, you know, lower. But that was because the water department, needed to change out the meter, but I wasn't aware of that. So she called kind of like towards the end of the billing period. So, cause now we're really in Q2 technically, so. So I'd have to adjust that for November's bill.
Is this different from, we had this discussion last?
Yep,
week,
no, that
or-
was
or
a
2 weeks
different, that was
ago?
a different,
Fine.
one, totally different one.
Okay.
So this is a different one as well, so.
Okay.
So, I mean, the resident, like I said, should be, ecstatic, cause like I said, her bills are usually not that high, but like I said, for next quarter, that 83.24 amount.
Okay,
This was like Riley, you said?
This is,
Yeah.
45 Riley Road.
We'll go back to our
My
original rate.
mother-in-law
or we'll
lives
go
there,
back-
so-
everything he said.
I'll have the correct numbers from the water department, next billing
Yeah, next
quarter, yeah,
cycle.
next cycle, so.
I make a motion to allow Andrew to credit that woman's account.
I can second that emotion.
All right.
That motion.
Got a motion?
Second that emotion.
Second, should be strong.
There
Well
you go.
done.
I've been thinking music all day.
We'll go start with Dan
Aye.
and Arthur, Scott, and I for myself. Motion carries.
It's about.
All right, thank you, everybody. Very good. So we're actually now to discuss our future meeting agenda items. Obviously, the ADUs is gonna be right there, top of the list. The minutes from tonight, manhole repair IFBs, we can get our meeting, our bi-monthly update and, anything else that you gentlemen?
Yeah. I think we have two different parties that wanna come in for easement waivers.
Well, two,
Word's getting out.
Yeah.
Word's getting out.
that should make it an interesting meeting by itself.
Yes, it should.
I don't wanna go to that.
We may not spend a whole heck of a lot of time in IDs.
And then we also have the, change in use,
Yeah,
to vote on from,
yeah, I think it's 308.
Massachusetts, 308 Massachusetts.
I think it
Yeah.
was the Dollar Tree or something.
Yep.
They're gonna put in a gym, so that's a change in flow.
Yep.
So that's something you guys have to vote on.
Oh,
It's
that's
an-
right, the new place there.
Yeah, it's an increase,
Yeah,
so.
Hmm.
The commission has to vote on that.
yep.
Whether it's allowable or how much
Yeah.
we're gonna charge them or just.
Yeah,
No, if you allow it.
Right,
Oh,
it's a lot, yeah.
I mean, that place is empty. We need something there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right, I think it's a
We're not
little,
gonna,
but
we're not gonna say no to
Right.
both because we don't wanna handle the shit.
Actually, one of those I am gonna have to,
I'm curious to see how that place looks. It's got poles inside.
leave the room
No, I
or
mean for the next meeting.
I will be at the next meeting.
Okay,
I just gotta
The
say,
next meeting's a Zoom, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
it seems like it caught fire amongst the contractors. They go, oh, they're considering easements and it went, oh, and now you know, words out, hey, it is what it is. They just wanna build.
excellent. So, I guess we're gonna be talking about our upcoming meetings now. And mine was a little short, so I'm gonna get it off my phone.
Oh, you didn't have the.
Oh, two sides, look at you.
We're saving paper,
You know, picky on me. Right then, is there any public comment? And do we have any comments from commissioners or staff before we wrap up the evening? Okay. Very good, our upcoming, city commission schedule for activities, next one is September 30th. There'll be Zoom meeting at 6 p.m. And we have October 14th at 7 p.m. Another hybrid meeting. October 28th is gonna be a 6 p.m. Zoom meeting. And then November, I can't even believe we're talking about November.
Let's go.
11th, 2025 will be a hybrid meeting at 7 p.m. here at the DPW.
Okay.
Without further ado, I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to
I'll
adjourn.
make a motion. to
second that.
adjourn. There we
You're
go.
in there, Keith.
We had two motions in 1 second. We'll start with Scott Bell,
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
and I for myself. Me. Thank you, Lunenburg. Have a great night.
Oh, we can plan.
Tune in next time.